And good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you back to another edition of WTOC The News Now. We're broadcasting on several digital platforms tonight, but we want to extend a special thanks to those of you who are watching us right now on the WTOC News app and WTOC.com. Let's get started. The Chatham County Police Department now hoping you can help them find a stabbing suspect. This crime happened on Whitfield Avenue, the suspect throwing trash into the street when another person came along and decided to pick up some of that trash and clear the street. That's when the suspect apparently stabbed that second individual and then took off, the stabbing happening with a pair of scissors. The victim was taken to the hospital. We're told that victim is in good condition tonight. We're also learning that stretch of Highway 21 that was destroyed by the crash of that Air National Guard C-130 just 4 weeks ago will be open within the month. The Air Force recovery team and construction crews with GDOT are making a lot of progress in laying the new asphalt and getting rid of all the contaminated dirt from that jet fuel that spilled there. Our Wright Gazaway has the story that's going to make commuters very happy.
Highway 21 and Gulfstream Road for a military jet that crashed.
When this ball of fire and smoke shot into the sky on May 2nd, the debris field covered Highway 21 and nearby railroad tracks. Today, the road looks more like normal construction than like a crash site. Larry Duncan works at nearby Crossgate Motors. The closure makes it look like the car lot is closed.
We needed to speed it up a little bit more so that we might get our customers to come back, and because of the traffic flow, those customers that we don't have, we would like to have, and those that we do have, we would like to keep.
The crash and road closure have hampered their business for the last 4 weeks. The cleanup resulting from the tragedy has been no easy task either. The plane crashed on May 2nd. The very next day, we learned the identities of the victims. A week and a half later, the city of Port Wentworth honored those victims with a touching tribute. A couple days later, most of the plane had been removed from Highway 21. Right now, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is helping with the cleanup, restoration, and construction projects. Crews are digging up the median and roadway to get rid of the thousands of gallons of jet fuel and other contamination from the crash. Duncan is still thankful it wasn't worse than it was that day.
As you watch this process, you can't do nothing but think of the day when that tragedy did happen, but we thank God for the pilot and all he did to keep from having any more casualties.
Initially, first responders warned drivers of the potential detour, saying it could last anywhere from a month to even more. The hope is to have the road fixed soon.
Wright Gazaway reporting the DOT will begin by opening one lane of traffic in both directions, eventually opening the entire road. Once again, that could happen as soon as a week, but no more than a month. The family in grief tonight. An apartment fire in Savannah took the life of a 5-year-old little girl and sent 2 of her siblings to the Augusta Burn Center for treatment. Jarvis Robertson spent the day talking with family members about those children and about the fire.
Hold your loved ones tight, because tomorrow ain't promised to none of us, let alone a 5-year-old baby.
A tragic death stemming from an early morning apartment fire on Graydon Street. This little girl, 5-year-old Robin Haddon, was found inside the home after firefighters were able to get the blaze out.
This grief is going to last a long time.
And now 2 of her siblings are fighting for dear life at the Augusta Burn Center. Their great-grandmother spoke with staff from the hospital this morning.
And they said they have them in deep comas. And they're holding their own. That's all they could tell me.
The 7 family members living in the apartment had been there for at least 1 year. I'm told they had planned to start moving somewhere else soon.
They were signing the lease on a new apartment this coming Friday.
Many of you have wished positive thoughts and prayers for the family. Now they express their appreciation.
I thank them because I know prayers work. Prayers work. And eventually the hurt that we feel right now because Robin's gone, that's eventually going to go away.
Jarvis Robertson there. The parents of the children expected to be in Augusta for at least the next 2 days. Savannah Fire did let us know that there were no smoke detectors inside that house at the time of the fire. The mayor of Tybee Island confirming the resignation of the Tybee Island fire chief. That fire chief also happens to be the head of Tybee Island Ocean Rescue. Our Crystal Howard spoke to the mayor about the sudden resignation and what's next.
Yeah, when I spoke with the chief via text, he told me that he made this decision as a personal family decision.
we're sorry to see Ashley go, and like I said, we wish him nothing but the best. To him and his family on all his future endeavors.
This resignation comes as a shock to the town of Tybee because Chief Fields also heads the Tybee Ocean Rescue for lifeguards and beach safety.
So that's obviously very important, given the fact that this is right at the start of the summer, that we have somebody in place to take on that role.
This also comes after questions of whether Chief Fields was able to balance the role of fire chief and the ocean rescue side of things with there not being enough lifeguards during busy beach seasons. So will his resignation affect beach services?
We'll have an interim in place, and our city manager will make sure that there's no problems, no gaps in service or anything like that. We fully funded our lifeguards for this season, and I don't see any reason why there'd be any issues.
And in just 6 days, an interim will take the chief's place until the city finds his full-time replacement.
Chief Fields did a good job of bringing in some full-time paid firefighters and also some part-time paid firefighters, and so that's something that he has done, and I think we'll continue that. Obviously, that's a good legacy for him to leave.
And the mayor told me that the fire chief's resignation should not affect ocean rescue or the lifeguards. On Tybee Island, Crystal Howard, WTOC News.
Funeral arrangements have now been made for Savannah police officer Anthony Christie. Officer Christie, you'll recall, was killed in the line of duty along I-16. That happened last week as he was responding to a crash there, an early morning crash, in fact. Visitation will be tomorrow and Friday from 10 a.m. to noon, again from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It'll be held at the Fox and Weeks Hodgson Chapel. It's open to the public. Officer Christie's funeral will be this coming Saturday at 2 p.m. at Compassion Christian Church. Coming up tonight, right here on The News at 11, the Savannah Chatham School Board is having to make some tough decisions, all the result of Savannah City's new fire fee. They're going to either have to cut programs or potentially raise your taxes. Our Danielle Lewan is taking a look at that issue tonight at 11. And coming up right here at 9 o'clock, our meteorologist Jamie Erdl has news of a drying spell headed our way. When will it arrive? Her complete First Alert forecast is coming your way in 1 hour. Until then, have a great night. Thanks for joining us here.